Yo, Brendan. Hi. Brian. Hi. Hella. Hi. Ralph. Hi. Just lurking today. That's fine. John, what's up? Jeremy, hi. Builder Dude, what's up? Not much. I did get some new tires on my truck today. They weren't brand new. They were nicely used, and they've been sitting in the back, uh, not getting installed because my front end needs to be completely reworked. But besides that, I got them put on today. Um, the power washer, um, it had a couple of issues, and I believe the main issue was, I think it just overheated was the main deal. Because Amy didn't know that the switch was broken and you have to unplug it. So she turned the water off and left it outside, and the pump was still trying to pump water. You could hear it going. Zoom, zoom, zoom. It's an electric power washer, and you could hear the pump still trying to pump, but there was no water. Um, so I think she went back out there and power washed some more, and I think it just overheated because it was very hot, and it wasn't just like uh, it wasn't just the temperature of the air. It was hotter than that. I didn't smell anything weird. It didn't smell like something burned up, like electrically, or like typically you can get a whiff when something's like cooked. But I didn't get anything. I didn't get any weird aromas or anything that the pump like bit the dust. Uh, but I think it just overheated, and the little sensor in there shut it down, and yeah, I think that's that. So I got to order a switch for it, and the switch is burned up. I'll replace the switch. See if I can get it going again. Switch is $15. Shouldn't be that bad. I've already got the old one out. I broke it right here. It is a HY52 on-off switch. So, Brian Thiel, what's up? Hi. Oh, but so I've had that set of tires on the back forever, not forever, but for like 8 months, and so there's some crackheads up the street that have this little like rundown old gas station, and they like do tire work out of this gas station that's like all rundown and dilapidated, and it's convenient to the shop. So I went over there and got them to put some tires on my truck, or to change a tire, put a tire on a wheel, something, and it was $25 or something. And I was like, all right, for uh, for crackheads, they're not too terrible. But they had this one main dude. I think he owns the place. He seemed pretty decent, but his helpers were very methed up, and but they were never seemed like so bad that like I felt like they couldn't operate. Um, and I went over there today, and one of the dudes walks out, and he was like, I said, "Can you put these tires on my? Can you put these tires on for me?" And he was like, he kind of like sat there and like stared at my tires in the back of my truck and was like, uh, he said, "We got tires and wheels right there we can put on." I was like, he's like, it's the same tires. I was like, what? I said, I don't want wheels. And he was like, I was like, I have wheels. And he like looked at my truck and he was like, I was like, I need you to take these tires out of the back of my truck and put them on these wheels. You'll have to take the tires that are on them off and then put these tires on the wheels that are I'm driving on right now. And he was like, okay. I said, how much is that going to cost? And he said, and he literally sat there and you could see him like calculating in his head. And he was like, 160. I was like, $40 a tire. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, I'm good, dude. I was like, you can barely talk. Like, you're not even like, I'm not going to support your like drug habit. So, uh, I'm leaving. So I went and saw this guy that's out in Chickasaw, like 15 miles up the road, um, and got him to do it. And he's much, but he runs a similar uh, operation. Like it's nothing fancy because you can't go anywhere fancy because fancy places won't put on used tires. So I have to go to these uh, hole in the wall places to get my tires put on, which is fine. I don't mind it. But the place I went to in Chickasaw was much. The guy is trying to like him and his wife work there, and his wife gets out there and she'll like jack cars up and take tires and wheels off and bring them to her husband. Like they've since the last time I went out there, they've like bought a little canopy and put on the side to where you could like pull cars into. So they're trying to expand their business. It still looks grimy as shit. Like if you pull up, you're not like, damn, this place is nice. But they're obviously trying to like better their business and they're putting money back into their business, which I commend and I've noticed and appreciate and see that they're actually trying. So I was much happier to give them my business. I should have went there to begin with, um, and the dude had a real hard time getting the popping the bead, and he's like, "Dude, this thing gave me hell." And said, all right, what's the damage? So give me $100, $25 a tire. So that's I think what I paid the last time. That's fair. Gave him a $1.20, and he said, "I got you if you need me." Thanks, dude. He's a 24-hour guy too. So if I ever get in a bind, I guess I can call him. So got my tires put on. Glad I didn't. Glad I'm. Glad I didn't buy anybody. Glad I didn't pay for any drug habits today. Uh, cost me 60 to get a used one. It's $10 to get rid of the old one. Yeah, I kept my old ones there in the back of the truck. I'll throw them in the back somewhere and just let them rot. Go make a fish reef out of them. South Jersey, they won't mess with them here. If you're like a real tire store, they typically like if you sell tires, uh, they won't cheer you up. You'll be getting a spitting image in your order, Stearman. That'll excite you. Old tires turning into mosquito factories. They do, man. I had to clean mine out yesterday. Oh boy, they had some green standing water in them. They were not cool. It was pretty gnarly, and it was a mosquito den. So hell, somebody said somebody down here got like West Nile or some shit from a mosquito last week or a couple weeks ago. So the mosquitoes are crazy. Uh, Brendan, last campers, all y'all text message. When does TK does drop? Brendan, a few moments later, JP, here's my number in live chat. I'll delete my message in chat after everyone writes it down. Oh, Les Schwab wouldn't rotate my tires because that wasn't enough tread. Yeah, Ralph, I don't like shit like that. Like, you know what I mean? It's like I want to like I am okaying you. I'm the person that's going to be riding on them. I say it's okay. Rotate them. I'm accepting risk and responsibility. Um, but yeah, they get a little bitchy sometimes with their what they will and won't do. So the brain eating amoeba has reached Jersey. One of the guys, South Jersey, that stopped by the tire store to get his tire worked on, he was he said he was from. It was really interesting. There was two people stopped by while I was there, and I was sitting out there in the front of the shop in a metal folding chair, hanging out, and first dude came in. He's like, "Man, it's too damn hot." I was like, "It is hot," and he said, it ain't hot like this where I'm from." I said, "Where are you from?" He said, "Well, I moved down here in '95." He said, "But I'm from New Jersey." And it's like, "Really?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "Summers make me want to move back." I said, "I bet." And anyway, we talked about how hot it was. And then this next lady pulls up and she's like, "Man, it's too damn hot out here." I was like, "Yeah, it is hot." She's like, I work in this shit." I said, "Oh, yeah?" And she said, "Yeah." And she said, "I ain't from here, but I'm ready to move back where I came from." I said, "Where did you come from?" She said, "I'm from Miami." She said, "Miami's hot, but we got that, sort of like everything's right there on the water, so you get like a Gulf breeze and all that kind of shit." She said, it ain't as bad as this." So, uh, it was pretty interesting seeing everybody's beef with the heat. Yeah, who is in the challenge? That's what I want to know, Hella. Who is your challenger? And do they get to pick their own frog? Or should you do like a wheel of death on what frog you get to throw? You could put the partner or your challenger, if you had a wheel, you could put them maybe at an advantage if they rolled the wheel of ribbit and got and drew brownie. It looks, uh, Travis, it looks like Hella was doing some sort of live frog fishing challenge tonight on his members only stream. And it looks like only frogs. Only frogs. I don't know if it's a challenge virtually against somebody or if he will have someone else on the boat with him, sharing the boat, going toe to toe live. It's not members, it's public. Oh, there you go. I thought when I pulled it up today, it said members only mode activated. Maybe not. Maybe not. Let me look just to make sure. So you don't. Go live and it's not public. Oh, it was Hellabass turned on subscribers only mode. Only channel subscribers can send messages. So I guess that doesn't relate to the video. That's just in comments. Maybe? I don't know. I don't know. Who's the challengers? Dean Rojas. Dean Rojas. Brian, is it you? Are you the challenger? Miami breeze feels like you're getting sandblasted in the face. Correct. I love Miami. Fort Lauderdale. I found out a couple years ago they closed down my favorite seedy beach dive resort, the Bahia Cabana in Fort Lauderdale. If you've ever been to the Bahia Cabana, the place is awesome. But I think it got leveled. What frog? If everybody had a frog, if you're if you're in a 1v1 frog challenge and the guy in the front of the boat is using a bronze-eye, do you go bronze-eye or do you go? What do you choose for your advantage? Your back of the boat advantage. Live target. Yeah. Of course. AJ, you didn't have to answer. Oh, AJ, I meant to ask you is bleeding baits, is that the theme today? Are we doing a bleeding bait post? Didn't you do that? Wasn't yours, was that today or yesterday? I saw the bleeding bait. I said, oh, yeah, it's bleeding bait day, of course. Thanks for reminding me, AJ. I'll be sure and post my bleeding baits. Thanks for waiting to post. I had to wait to see what my caption was going to be. Y'all like bleeders? AJ's poll says yes, so here you go. Buddy Pat. Well, good luck, Pat. Is Pat bringing his own frogs, or will he uh, have to fish out of your frog collection? Take the baits, put hooks. There you go. That's fair. That doesn't seem like a terrible deal. That doesn't seem like a terrible deal. TK, you can paint the baits, you can package them, put rings and hooks on them, send them to me, and I'll come up with captions and film the reels in my yard with my beautiful lush green Nebraska lawn. Seems fair. Seems fair. Right? Seems fair. I like bleeding hooks when the red wears off and the horrible copper yellow is showing. Schoolmaster, are you Epic E in disguise? Are you Eric in disguise? Is that Eric's burner account? Hella, will you be able to say this is the first? Is this the first of its kind? I know those other people used to do head-to-head fishing. Was he the guy shaking the swim jig? If so, I'll be pulling for Pat. Tim, did you rip on any? Jeremy, no, because Amy's boss is in town, and I believe she told me that we're going to have to go to dinner. So I have to put on my car salesman suit. Hey, man. Good to be here. So what do you do? I'm going to put on nice jorts, pretend like I'm interested, play the game, which makes me want to vomit, put on the suit and fake smile. And honestly, I'm not really good at that. I actually don't fake smile or like, I just don't entertain that. But if they're human, we can certainly interact. But if they're bullshitters, I'll probably just sit there and quietly eat my meal. She's a lurker. Kyle, I'm very disappointed. But you do what you got to do. Girlfriend's boss fishes and lives on Lake Travis. What's he do down in Austin? If I can be, if I can be nosy. Brendan, not really. If it's a waste of your time, I was just curious if you happen to have the bait sitting right there beside you. I wanted to see how the texture matched. These things, I'm gonna have to give them a damn washing after my nasty ass hands have been all over these. Software company. Sounds about sounds Austinish. That's a good thing about the matte clear is you can grub them up with your fingers and never know the difference because you can't see fingerprints on them. It's awesome. I should just matte clear everything. because I wiped them off, Brendan. I wiped them off. I got that. I tend to wipe off blades as much as I can. I try and get everything that make it look clean. It'll be easier just to wear gloves, but I get tired of wearing gloves. Damn it, you're right, Ralph. I didn't think about that. If I'm hobnobbing at a dinner, I'm gonna have to be watching the live Frog Fest under the table. What are you watching? Frogging, bro. What do you know about that? Do you frog? Like, no? Well, get out of my. Kyle, I did actually. Me and Bean Sunday had a little baked painting sesh, and she actually did really, 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 really good. I'll have to post her baits. I gotta find some eyes for them. No, Brian. What I usually get is, what do you do again? I paint things. Really? Yeah. Yep. Yes, I do. Oh, really? Wow. Awesome. Do you have like a Facebook page or like Instagram? Yeah. Cool. Cool. Yeah, that's usually. Some people are actually interested in it. Some people just like pretend, act interested. It can be if the person. It depends on the person. Some people are actually, like I said, some people it actually interests. Like real people, no matter what their background. Like it all depends on if the person is is a genuine person and they're listening to what you're saying and like know how to have like actual conversations where you're not just waiting, you're not going through your script of like how to like, you know, talk to a stranger. um and they're actually listening and not like just waiting so they can like say their next thing off their script. um but trying to explain it to those people that don't really listen and they just wait to talk, uh, that's annoying because it's a waste of air because you can tell that they don't care. They're just being like fake friendly. Uh, you know, I got an uncle that fishes. Heard that a few times. That was the great thing about Austin is like Austin people were really into it. Like all the like hipsters, you could tell them what you did, and they were like, because it was kind of artsy fartsy. It was like edgy because it wasn't like I work in software. I work at Dell. I work at, you know, real estate. I work it, like anything that you did that was like non-standard. Very, very, very hipster. So in Austin, painting fishing lures was like ninja level hipster. Very not, yeah. I mean, it was very not mainstream fishing. Um, But if you go somewhere that's like a fishing town and you tell somebody you custom paint fishing lures, they typically be like, "Oh, I got a buddy that does that." It's like, "Really? Yeah, you want to see his stuff?" It's like, "Sure." And then they show you, and it's like not great. It's like, "Oh, cool. Oh, cool. He's good. He's good." But we kind of don't do the same thing. But we kind of do. Niche of a niche. It is very awesome and very weird. Fit right in. Fit right in. Weird, a little artsy. The only thing you might run into in Austin is oh, you paint fishing lures? Cool. Wait a minute. Do people actually like hook fish with them? They can. Oh no, no, no. That's awful. I don't know what they do with them. It's not my that's not my job. If they want to go hook fish with them, they're certainly entitled to that. I'm not saying that happens, but that happened. We were fishing one day and that happened. Um, I was throwing a buzzbait one day down the bank, and we were going down the bike trail, and I had one like 4 pounds eat a buzzbait, and I threw like my buzzbait right up on the bank, and it was blah, 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 blah. And there was a lady like doing yoga or something, like standing on the bank, and the fish just like exploded like 5 feet off the bank. She's like, "Oh my gosh, that was scary." And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "That was cool." I said, "It was cool." And then I like flipped the fish in the boat, and she's like, "Oh my god, is that fish attached to you?" And I was like, "Yeah, he bit my lure." She's like, "With a hook?" And I was like, "Yes." And she's like, "Oh, poor fish." I was like, "He's fine. He's fine." Chris approves on the Zaldane Zona episode. Okay, well, I'll listen to that. I'll find some earbuds tonight and listen to it during dinner. But occasionally you did run across the. I hope you don't. I hope you don't hook them. Don't hurt them. Hope you don't hurt them. But she was into it. The yoga lady was into it before she realized I was pulling on the fish's mouth and head with a piece of steel, pulling as hard as I could. It was cool when it hit the bait until she realized that I was yanking on its face, and then her attitude changed. And that's Austin though. Austin was fun. She gave you a fish landing violation before it was cool, pretty much, pretty much. But I watch people now, like I follow a bunch of those guys that fish, Town Lake, and like I started thinking about it, and I was like, nobody really goes out there and like patterns fish, especially like to me, like the swim bait guys. Like you just fish the same shit over and over and over, and you wait for a fish to move in. I mean, it's pretty much how the lake fishes. Like the fish get in the same places, and if you just like cycle around the same old places, you're probably going to get a bite. It might be a 6 pounder one day, it might be a 2 pounder one day, but like all the bridges, all the same like stretches of bank, like they're I can guarantee now. Before um, before the grass came back, there was an untapped population of fish out in the middle that nobody messed with. Um, but if you were a live scoper, you probably could have done really well out there. But now that the grass is back, that changes things. That pulls all those fish in, all those random open water fish. It'll move them back to the edge or to grass. You'll start seeing a lot more bigger ones caught just because of that reason, just because they have somewhere to hide now. Um, so should be interesting. Haven't heard of any real giants come out of there lately, but it's gonna come. It's gonna come. Maybe they might keep it hush hush. You'll be bones. Well, that's the thing about Town Lake is like, or Ladybird, whatever you want to call it. Like Ladybird's only like 10 miles long. It's like 7 or 14. I forget what it is. It's not very long. So there's only one. There's two boat ramps where you can actually put like a big boat, and they're on kind of the towards the lower end, and it's trolling motor only. So it kind of limits where you can go. Those kayak guys can launch up the lake. You can see a lot more of the lake in a kayak than you can a bass boat. But it's a fun lake to fish out of a bass boat. Um, it's just not fun pulling a boat around Austin in the traffic. I think the weekend water activity keeps the fishermen away on the weekends. Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's hard to actually fish out there, especially like you can't fish anywhere hardly around Barton because there's so many kayakers and canoeists and paddle boarders and people out there dicking around coming out of Barton Creek. And the mouth of Barton's really good. And even fishing in Barton's good because it's cold. Um, but there's too many people. So, and I never liked fishing out there at night. Too many crackheads on the bank. Like when it's time to put the boat on the trailer. I never felt comfortable out there at night. Steve, it is. It is. Hell yes. Yeah. It's like the most un-Texasy place politically, but everything else is kind of Texasy. And it's the capital. Go figure. Go figure. Yeah, it's not very it's not very Texasy in that sense. All right, one more, dudes. One of those cities we'll give back to Mexico. Yep, probably wouldn't be. And that's the sad thing about Austin is Austin is really cool, but they're trying to ruin it. Austin's trying hard to be ruined. It keeps getting less weird by the minute. Nobody can afford shit. Like that's the sad thing about Austin is everything that made Austin cool. Um, isn't the people that made Austin cool can't afford to live there anymore. Like the artists, the musicians, the anybody that like did like the people that are trying to break into business that don't have any money that are trying to get like upstart, like some small business, like those people can't afford to live there anymore. Um, the older I get, the less I can tolerate. Uh, that's understandable. Austin and San Antonio are awesome cities compared to Dallas Fort Worth area. People just suck. Yeah, I've been to Dallas a couple times. Fort Worth, Stockyards, places like that. Uh, it was cool. I didn't love it. We went to the state fair. Uh, that was the state fair was not cool. It was not what I was expecting at all. It was cool, but it was way more theme parky. Like it was definitely not what I expected. I'm going to the Northern Michigan Fate. All right, we can continue. Brendan's back. Grab that big text photo. It just surprised me, like how I don't know. It's just not what I expected. Like no currency. You paid in tickets. That was weird. Northern Michigan Fair. We tried all the fried stuff. That was fun. I saw one thing. There's a show that it's on Netflix. Maybe it's called Deep Fried Texas or something, and it's a reality show that's basically follows around like the people that fry shit at the state fair in Texas, and it's pretty awesome. I mean, it's not. It's kind of lame, but it's kind of cool to see how much money one of those places makes. Like, there's this one guy. I forget what he sells. He might be the turkey leg guy, and they have to supposedly go to the like empty out their registers or their like safes at the end of the day, and they have this like drop box, and it's got all the tickets in it from where people bought food or beer or whatever, and they weigh them, I guess, to see how many tickets you have, and they put the box up there. And people are making like even like the small businesses are making like 15 grand a day. Like one dude, I think because he sells beer and he's got like five different like little restaurants that serve stuff. Uh, I think he said he wanted to average 100 grand a day, like crazy numbers. I did try the deep fried Oreo. The one I want to try that I did that wasn't I don't think available then was the fried collard. It was either fried turnips or fried collards, and it was made into like a pierogi type thing. It was really good looking. Um, really good. One, two, three, four, five, 6, 7, 8. I'm almost completely out of packaging, dudes. I might have I've burned through all of my stash. Oh, sorry, Brendan. I keep forgetting that. I don't keep forgetting it. I like think about it probably 3 times a day, and because I don't like to be, I don't like to say things and then not do it, and I'll think about it and be like, damn, Brendan thinks I'm a flake and I'm a loser because I've told him I'm going to do that, and I haven't done it yet, and I haven't done it yet, so I guess I am a flake, but so I'll have to. I'll have to add. I think I just need to take pictures, is what it is. I think that's why I've been uh, putting it off because I haven't taken any pictures. Um, Morgan Mason's favorite Burns bait is coming to fruition. It's coming back around. All right. Oh, nothing in here. Let's take these. I gotta clean these up. Minnesota State Fair averages 150K a day. Biggest one day was 280. The Hellcat is like a, it's kind of like a rounder bodied E1. I would say. All right. One pack down. E1, but Burns's durability. E1 with Burns durability. I got a Hellcat, but it ain't a Marty bait. Who else makes a Hellcat? What Japanese company makes a Hellcat? Or what is it? Is that a car? Is that a pew pew? Is that a weapon? Can we convince you to order some Mubba XLs? Probably not. Probably not. There's other things I would like to do before I did those. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. These are really pretty. Really pretty. Dodge does make a Hellcat. I didn't realize. Didn't they say they're getting rid of those? Ralph, you would have thought I would have put a K in the Hellcat, but I didn't. Shame on me. Perfect opportunity, and I failed miserably. I failed. They're stopping production of the Chargers. I don't know how they're gonna, or I don't know why they're doing that because I don't know about where y'all live, but there's Chargers galore here. People love their Chargers down here. I would think that would not be great. Burns, did the Angler of the Year for MLF fail his polygraph test about Cayuga? Yes, Burns. Is there any truth to this? Will we do another run of SB1s before? Yes, exactly. I would do SB1s before I did MUBAs again. Chargers are a dime a dozen. Yeah, I don't know why they would discontinue that one. Like I said, I feel like they're like hugely popular and they sell good. Matt Becker passed his polygraph. There you go, Jeremy. Hella has confirmed. Oop. It has been confirmed. Everyone's saying Wheeler got robbed, forgetting that last year Wheeler was cited for breaking the law in a tournament en route to his AOY. Well, that does kind of. It does add a little asterisk to the win. Probably the biggest mistake Charger is making, and the only reason they're stopping production on the Charger and the Hellcats is because of the engine. What's wrong with the engine? Manson just waited 25-2 in the first at St. Lawrence River. Good. I hope Manson wins. He's due up for a damn win as much as he fishes. Like, it seems like he's always got these like superhuman freak bags. Like, he'll show up and be like, "Oh, we only had 28 today." It's like you come in like third or fifth or something. It's like, holy shit, dude. Like, that sucks. How do I Gators, good question. I don't know that you do. I feel like I was fighting that myself. My most annoying pop-up box is when I get on Google and they always ask me if I want to sign in to my Google account. I'm like, no, I don't want to sign into my Google account. I just want to like look up something stupid and like be done with it. No, I don't want to sign in. Hopefully Manson gets a big fat winning check. That would be nice. Do you have to add hearts? Caught a bullfrog on a frog. There's some hearts. Does that make it go away or no? Yeah, I don't know. Brendan, you haven't cracked that code yet? I figured you had already hacked that out. I have to remove it? How do I remove it? What do I do? I'll certainly remove it. Well, but do I really want to do that? If I have to deal with it on other streams, shouldn't y'all have to go down with me? Shouldn't y'all have to burn with me? Nothing makes it go away. You have to hit the heart 100 times. It's part of the chat setting. Maybe there's like live something on there. Okay, well, I'll get rid of it. Let's see if I can. I might be able to get rid of it right now. I might be able to do everybody a solid. You're welcome. Did it disappear? Ha! There you go, bros. Enjoy. Enjoy your free chat. Hope you guys enjoy your lovely emoji free chat. Hello wants it back. Techno wizard. Oh yes, yes, yes. Brilliant. One click of the button. Now Ralph or Burns can't give me hearts and emojis. It's coming back. Maybe we'll just start with it, and then after a certain allotted time that you can shower me with heart emojis and show your love, then we'll delete it. After I'm overwhelmed with the joyous admiration of emojis, we will disable them. Once my heart is full. Disables hearts, installs middle fingers. You would probably get a lot more. You would probably get a lot more interaction in your emojis if they were like FUs and potty words. Bob said, send his walkers with me. Is that true or is that not true? Because either way, it would not surprise me. Bob's always got some damn funny business going on. Bob will say, hey, can you send my bait to Puerto Rico first? And then I'm going to have it forwarded to this other address. And it's going to be up at this gas station by my house. Not true. Yeah. All right, where these go? Where's my box? Oh, so my dad ordered a dip net on the Amazon, and I was picking the girls up, and I went and looked at his dip net, and I was like, that dip net looks kind of small. And he said, yeah, it's wrong. And I said, let me see that. And he said, why? I said, I'm going to look at the net. It has a beautiful scale pattern in it that I was very, very excited to use on the walkers here, but turns out I didn't. Turns out I went reptile instead. Go figure. Yeah, I think this might be a smidgen bigger than what I was using out there already. I'll have to go and check it. Let's see. It might be exactly the same. It's probably the damn same. Yeah, I think it's the same actually. Oh well. Crocodile. I like that. Ralph, you're on it, dude. Where do I find bigger diamond scale netting, bigger than window screen holes? Diamond scale. You want fabric, or do you want fabric, or do you want metal? fabric. What's wrong with a loofah? The problem with loofahs is that they're inconsistent in their shape, so you have to shop. Like I've probably got like 20 loofahs out there, and they're all different sizes of scales. And like I've got a purple one that's like real big, and then I've got like a pink one that's kind of small, and then all different sizes. Yes, they do, Brendan. Yes, they do. I painted 30,000 baits with them. They stay consistent. Gator, the best Bagley-esque matching fabric was a I've talked about this before, was a bridal whatever you call it, but it was for wedding things, and I remember the last time I was in the store. This was like 10 years ago. I saw it, and it was wedding veil material, and they wanted like $25 for this wedding veil material, but it was the perfect Bagley scale pattern. And I saw it and I was like, dude, I'm not paying $25 for this. Looking back, I would have paid probably $100 and bought 4 of them now, because it's so hard to, like, you can't, it's impossible to find that size. And yeah, looking back, I should have just thrown down the 25 bones, because I've still got like lots of the fabric. Cannot get the scales to all stay the same size shape on the bait. Well, I'm here to tell you, young Brendan, it is you, not the material. Because you can get the scales to stay the same size and shape. Inconsistent stretched out loofahs were all the rage. Oh, AJ, it gave me such anxiety. Like, what's his name? Josh was able to like make it work because it fit what he was doing, and then everybody wanted to like copy him, and then it was just like overload of dicked up crooked mesh, and it was so awful because it doesn't work. Like, his works because he does a lot, like, you know what I mean, like he breaks up his paint, and it matches his style, so it works. But when you like do something simple and you can't hide it, and you just see like shitty looking scales all like morphed on the side, it looks horrible. Watch Pete cut up a loofah. I don't ever do anything weird with them. I typically just straighten them out. But you gotta stretch them out first. I will tell you that. Got to cut all this talk out and make it a Patreon. Oh, you're right, AJ. You're right. All the tips. You're right, AJ. I'll keep my mouth shut. I don't want to give out all the juice. Yeah, some people, I don't know. That's what most people say about painting. I don't have the patience for it. I have the patience of Job for the most part until I get in like traffic or something. Dude, I went to the DMV, so I tried to get I tried to renew my tag online yesterday. Well, it wouldn't let me because it's longer than 11 months. Turns out my tag hasn't been renewed in 3 years. So it's funny because my tag hasn't been renewed in so long that when they give you a new sticker that's a different color, my color sticker has already come back around to present, so uh, it looks up to date. So I walked in there this morning, and just like anybody else, anytime you go into a DMV, you better be prepared for a wait. Well, I walked in, and there was like three people ahead of me, and they talked to the little service desk and got their tickets. Um, and the lady walked up for me, and I said, "I have a tag that has expired over 11 months. I need to get it renewed." She said, "Okay, here's your number." I was walking from that desk to the chairs, and they said, "Number 233, window A." I'll be dicked. So I walked up, and the guy said, "Can I help you?" I said, "Yeah, I need to get a expired tag registered over 11 months." He's like, I said, "You need my ID? I don't have any paperwork." He's like, "Sure, let's see your ID." I said, "Mr. Stanley, is this all this accurate?" "Yes." He said, "Okay." And you just gave me a new tag. And if I would have known I would have been buying a tag, I would have probably maybe got a customized one. I started thinking about it. I was like, could I squeeze Tacklecraft in it? Which would be kind of cool, but I didn't. I did get lucky, dude. I literally, my visit lasted probably less than 10 minutes. It was probably like 7 minutes total. Uh, AJ, that is the first thing that popped in my head when she gave me the ticket. "Hey, there's Elvis. Well, looks like I'm next." That is probably, without a doubt, my favorite scene in Beetlejuice. Hey, hey, hey. Um, Thomas K. Stanley, Painter Dude. Painter Dude would be pretty funny. Have you ever felt masking spray was worth using at all, or do you think it's better for larger surfaces? Yeah, I mean, the surface has to be flat for masking anything. But any of that masking stuff, I mean, it depends. Like if you use masking spray, you have to mask something off to use masking spray. So if you're going to do that, you might as well just mask off what you're using the spray for. So to me, it would be easier to just go and have like vinyl cut or have like some sort of soft adhesive cut, and just like try and reuse that, or just like throw it away, because you're not going to be doing that much anyway. Like, it doesn't, to me, it's never. If you got something you want to do and you're painting one bait, sure, it kind of might make sense. In Arkansas, there would have been a penalty. I think it was $15. Um, I think it's $20 to renew, and then if you're late, it's 15. So it would have cost me 35. But they just sold me a new tag instead. Uh, so I guess I didn't. I guess it cost me $40 not getting my. If I would have got it renewed every year since it expired, it would have cost me about 60 something bucks probably. So it cost me 100. So $40. I mean, it goes to a couple grand here. Ouch. No, it was my penalty was just buy a new tag, $100. But I don't understand that. Like, how can they penalize you? Like, if the motor in your truck blew up, that's what I told them happened to me. I said the motor in my truck blew up. I haven't driven this truck in a little while, so the tag's expired for a long time, and I've got it fixed now, and I want to drive it. And he's like, okay, they just sold me a tag, so I don't I don't know why they would. Do you have to call and tell somebody when you have like? You have to call the government and say, "Hey, my truck's not running. I'm not going to renew my tag right now." I'd tell them to eat a dick. Uh, TK, what's the worst paint job someone had you paint, or weirdest? The worst? Like the ugliest that someone requested? There's a lot. I mean, I get them all the time. Um, uh, mainly, it's paint jobs that don't match baits, like just stuff that doesn't like if you like y'all wouldn't notice it. Like nobody would notice it but me. But there's certain baits I won't paint certain things on because if I do, they're gonna look like shit. So I specifically don't paint something or a certain way or like I try not to do certain things on certain baits, and it's for a reason. Is because, in my opinion, it is not the appropriate canvas for whatever this paint job is. But some people don't see it that way, and they want for me to make them a bicycle, and that's 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 what it is. Like painting a gill pattern on a Shad Glide, prime example. I would typically not do that. I don't like it. I think it looks dumb. I Yeah, there's a lot like a really detailed um, crawfish on like a like with all the little micro dots and all the like shading and stuff. Like when you put that on like a Balsa B2, I think it looks stupid. I don't like it. I've never have. I don't like it. It's not the canvas for that. Like that looks awesome on like a textured bait. Um, so, but some people are like, I don't care. That's what I want. Um, so tags in Georgia, 400 plus. You ad valorem. So your Beetlebug convertible will be about 550. Uh, It'd be like painting a shad pattern. Correct, Jeremy. Correct. Hey, will you take my bullfrog and paint it like a gizzard shad? That's just stupid, but sure. AJ's right. AJ knows. AJ's AJ is a long standing proud member of the Brotherhood of Custom Crankbait Painters. He remembers those days. The customer is always right until they're wrong. Sometimes they need guidance. Sometimes they need guidance. Sometimes they have to be helped. Except when they're stupid. I don't have that many anymore. I had this one guy. He said it was I think this bait had been it was a swim bait, and I think this bait had been repainted twice, and I was the third, and because it had been painted from the stock, from whatever the first paint job was, and then somebody had painted over that, and then I had painted over it the third time, and he had some paint peeling. And I said, "Is it my paint or is it one of the other sub layers of paint that's been on that bait?" And he said, "I said if it's down to resin, the paint that was on it originally is failing. If my paint comes off, you'll see it. You'll see the next layer of paint underneath it." And he said, "Well, it's down to resin." I was like, "Well, that's really not my paint. Like whatever was on it is failing. That was under it." And he was like, "Oh yeah," and it was like one spot, and he was like, "Oh yeah," and the eye fell out too. And I was like, "Well," he said, "I said, well, that bait has had now 3 sets of eyes put on it, and by the time you get multiple sets of eyes and multiple glues, there's not it's not as good of a bond, and that bait didn't have a lot of like room anyway, and the eyes never fit that great." And so it happens, dude. Like it's not well seated that after being painted that many times. um I'm not, you know, I don't have like bits, Forstner bits that like fit everybody's eye holes. Um, and he was like, I think he said, "I don't know about that. I'll contact the maker." I was like, "Dude, contact him. Like, he's not going to tell you, like, he's not going to tell me about paint, first off, or like sticking eyes on, or like anything like that. Like, you can talk to him all you want, but uh, never heard back. I never heard back. Uh, can you paint my Chad shed a crawl? I've done a couple of those on bull shads, and I tried to like talk him out of it. Um, I tried. I asked him. I said, "Right, I said, you want me to send you an eye?" Never heard back. So I'll send you a damn eye. If you're the fucking pro, you stick it in. Like it's not that hard. You know what I mean? What's your thoughts on those Boulder Creek crawl crankdowns? I think they look better than they perform. I haven't seen any fish over 7 pounds on. That doesn't mean anything though, South Jersey. Honestly, like how do you hold that standard? Because if by saying you haven't seen a fish over 7 pounds, you would have to control who gets them and how many people. Like the baits you see perform where people catch a lot of big fish on them is because a lot of people have the bait and it's in the right hands of people. If you give that Boulder Creek crawl to the guys who catch 10 pounders, usually you'll see plenty of 10 pounders. Uh, that's just the nature of it. You see a lot of big fish caught on bull sheds because a million people have bull sheds, and a lot of people are throwing them. You see a lot of people catch fish on piz baits. You know why? Because they pay a lot of money for them, and when they post a picture of a fish with one, people's dicks get hard. So they fish those things relentlessly in order to catch a fish so they can say, look what I did. Look at this magic bait that I caught this like 7 pounder on." Where there could have been 100 other fish catches in between them, but because they have like a hype bait, they have to fish it into the dirt. Don't trust a piz guy. No, I mean, can't blame you there. Um, Gotta fish where big fish live. But those guys, that's the funny thing. You say that, Burns. Like that's the funny thing about those, like the dudes up in Massachusetts. Like those guys will go out there in like February and the water's like 36 degrees, and they'll be out there throwing a damn Pat's wake bait and catching like studs, and it defies everything. Hungry for attention. Yeah, there's a lot of that going on. Plenty of that going on. And I get that question a lot. Um, People ask me all the time, "What's so special about those?" Like, nothing, dude. That's what's special about them is that you think they're special because they're hard to get and they're there's this mystique around them. Boulder Creek sent its baits to a lot of guys in the universe and underground that live where the big fish in Texas and just don't seem to produce. I mean, maybe they don't like it. You know what I mean? I mean, it's if you uh, if you really break it down, like to me, like if I sent you, like for example, a BGC crankdown shad, and then I sent you this stupid ass looking crawfish crankdown, which one would you be more likely to have confidence in throwing and catching big bass on? Which one would you throw with the utmost confidence and pride? Probably the BGC because it looks awesome. It's clean. It's nice. Not knocking the crawl, but it's not sexy. You know what I mean? It's a jointed crawfish crankbait. Uh, so I'm thinking. Uh, I don't know. I wouldn't be like so stoked to like go out there and just like live or die by that thing. I think it's just appeal too. It's basically a big square bill. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's the thing. I think the fact that it's a crawfish is irrelevant. I don't think that does anything. Like I think you could catch the same fish on a regular crankdown that's painted red, honestly. But what do I know? Um, Brendan, it's all about branding, bro. Because you keep selling them to people who want them. You keep doing what people want, Brendan. You keep listening to people. But I mean, props to Piz, Paul. He did his I mean, he did his time in the damn slums of the bait painting world. Um, you know what I mean? How everything that kind of happened in between to now is kind of sus, but uh, I feel like he like the one thing that I could probably I was never I'm still not a fan of his paint, never have been. When people talk about it and like get all chubbed up over it, I'm like, you're fucking blind, like whatever. Um, but so But back in the day, I will say he was probably one of the first ones, if not the first I ever saw, to do the solid black eye on repaints. Like when he would paint a bait and he'd put like a solid black eye. I would give him credit for like being the first of anybody that I saw do that. Um, as dumb as it sounds, that back then it wasn't a thing. Um, I could take the big crawl in the spring, dirty water, and put some good ones and smallies. Oh, fucking dinner at 6. Suck me sideways. Need to leave by 5. Paul goes to 3 or 4 shows a year. Pockets 200 plus, cash only. I think you might be cutting him short, Chris. I think he's making 90 grand a show, and if he's making it to 4, I think he's pushing. I think he's pushing 400, bro. I think he's. I think he's a. I think he's way over $250,000. Lottery sales? I don't know. I don't know anything about that. Um, yeah, you can't get a bait without something else, which drives the price up. So I don't think you're getting a bait at a show for. You're not getting out of there for under 250 a clip. So, I mean, what's he usually bring? A couple hundred baits, say 300 baits times 250. That's 75 grand. Yeah, so he does that 4 times. That's 300 grand. Um, you enter into a giveaway, but then you still got to pay for the bait. You enter a giveaway. Who does it? What builder does it? Or do a bunch of them do it? Hmm. Texas Gathering was $300 a bait, includes a shirt. Remember, 300 baits after no baits. Sold all his merch. Straight cash. So 300 times 300 is 90. So say he did 10K in merch sales, a smooth 100 grand. What's so dumb is that uh, they want as many vendors as possible. You know what I mean? So you've got 300 guys standing in line with $300 in their pocket to blow at the Piz booth or more. Say 500, and then you've got like 50 other guys sitting around with their thumbs up their ass, hoping to like sell a handful of baits. The It seems a little suspect to me. I guess the cool thing it does is the Piz monthly tournament and can win one, but you have to have a Piz to get in on the tournament, and it's got to be caught. Um, so that's So if you win the tournament, all you win is a bait. Yeah, I'm with AJ. I would just say that's good marketing and branding that all makes people enjoy using your product. And I mean, you see, it's a guaranteed way to get pictures of fish catches on your product. Not everyone wanted a Piz. Many guys got two. Circle back. I figured that wouldn't be allowed, but I guess it was. You win the ability to buy a bait. South Jersey, they all do the same shit. Like it's everybody follows everybody. It's it's I don't know. I guess it works, but at the end of the day, like everybody doesn't need their own fucking tournament. Everybody doesn't need like you know what I mean? Like who gives a shit? Like give it up. An OG trashy. How OG? First run. First gen. Is it a shad or a gill? Prototype. Uh-oh. Hold on to it. Make baits, put them up on the site, ship when you say you will. I mean, what's wrong with that? Shad is not good. It doesn't swim good or doesn't look good. Was Josh still trying to find himself? Can you send us all a pic of it, AJ? It took me 18 hours, one crawfish dinner, 6 beers and rocks in my back to get a tilapia Piz. The tilapia paint sucks compared to TJ tilapia. Yeah, that one was good for Buka. That one was good. I'll toot my own horn. The Buka Classic tilapia was titties. I enjoy painting tilapia. Those are fun. All right. Do I have a pic of my tilapia? Yeah, it's on Instagram. It's on the gram, bro. Let's see. I'm about to have to get out of here because I got to go home and get dressed because of this fucking dinner. All right. I was going to try and clean up my truck. My wheels are disgusting. I wish I was cooking dinner. That'd be way cooler. Classic Bassmaster Classic. There it is. And it's nothing special, but that son of a bitch was sexy, dude. You can't really see it. I'll just send it to you, Brendan. Send it to AJ. I'll send it to everybody. Where's BBC? BBC. BBC News? No. Brown? Baitco. Sent. All right, dudes. Regret getting rid of your trashy crappie swimmer. Yeah, I like Matt Lure's, Matt Servant's tilapias look good. South Jersey has a bait regret, getting rid of his trashy. Well, we all have those, bro. I'm sure it's floating around there somewhere. All right. Anyway, good talking to everybody. Thanks for sticking around. I'm gonna get out of here and go try and get some boxes taped up so I can get everybody's stuff shipped out. Good talking to y'all. Check in with you next time. See you later.